I think it's quite important to understand the high-level requirements and overall pictures. So from the previous Web3 summits talked by Gavin, he mentioned that there are a number of changes he would like to make. One is that completely changing the staking and the inflation and the staking rewards mechanism. Because he thinks the 10% inflation and paying to the nominators is a very costly thing to the network holders, network token holders. So what he would like to do is, instead of paying a lot of amount of the DOT, inflate DOT, it'd be more reasonable just pay with stable coins directly. So to ensure that covers the operation cost of the validators, which is something we can reasonably estimate the cost, and then slightly more to cover the additional, give them some profits. So that would significantly, because with a hard cap of DOT, eventually we will not be able to mint more DOTs to pay for that. So the stablecoin is the solution. That also means that implies a number of hard requirements to the stablecoin. For example, the Treasury the network itself should be able to issue the stablecoin directly, and then there should be a mechanisms to ensure, for example, that we still over-characterize stablecoin. There's usually stability fees or interest that people pay to borrow stablecoin. In this case, when it's the Treasury issuing stablecoin, the Treasury shouldn't pay such fee, because in the end, if the fee goes to Treasury, then it's like one hand go to another hand. If the fee, so it shouldn't just pay the fee at all. Obviously, there needs some additional mechanisms to ensure to keep the peg of the stablecoin. So it is. So that's basically requires, because this is deeply integrated into the system. It's integrated into a staking system. It's integrated into the Treasury system. But in future, people shouldn't need to ask Treasury to pay them DOT and then sell the DOT for fiat. They should just ask the Treasury to pay them pUSD. And Treasury doesn't need to, for example, maintain a reserve of stablecoin, which it does right now. It needs to retain a reserve of USDT or USDC to pay for people. But with pUSD, it doesn't need to maintain. It can just mint it when it's needed, and then burn them when it's needed. So it needs to be deeply integrated with all the system. So it kind of implies this thing has to be deployed as hub. It has to be implemented using pallet. It cannot be implemented using smart contracts with EVM, because otherwise there are a lot of integration issues that need to be solved. To connect EVMs and staking system, for example, there are a lot more work. So then, the home zone protocol we developed for USD is pretty much the only options out there, other than rewrite one from scratch. But why making one from scratch when there is this existing protocol available to use? Yeah. But as I said, it's not a simply copy paste. There are a lot of requirements that have been changed. Initially, for example, the home zone protocol supports multi-characters. But for pUSD, it's single characters. It's only DOT. It's the only characters. Previously, for the home zone protocol to work, we need to deal with liquid staking. But not. I have asked Gavin about this, and he said it wouldn't be an issue anymore because with the transition of the nominator rewards and with the addition of the proof of personhood, all these new mechanisms, there wouldn't be a lot of needs for liquid staking. So people wouldn't be judged the opportunity cost loss between looking DOT as characters with stake the DOT. And in fact, this could be a new ways for them to earn rewards. For example, people can lock the DOT and mint pUSD and put pUSD to some DeFi protocols and earn the rewards from the pUSD protocols. So this will be kind of the new ways of staking, rather than selecting validators. So I haven't shared anything public about some latest changes, which I have some documents, but I haven't shared them because I'm still finalizing the detail with Gavin. Basically, one idea he have is this should have some direct connections with all different DeFi protocols, including, for example, the one on hydrogen, and other power chains, and of course all the EVM smart contracts on SL directly, so that people should be able to say, I will lock 100 DOT. It will make as much pUSD as possible, and then send all the money to some DeFi protocols. It could be, for example, lending protocols or some swap as a liquidity provider. And then when the say DOT price goes down, it will automatically withdraw some liquidity to maintain the position healthiness. So this kind of fully automated liquidity management things should unlock a lot of liquidities for pUSD, because now, well, not now, because when the staking rewards of have significantly reduced, then people will seeking new ways to earn rewards for the DOT, and then this will be one of the new ways by minting pUSD and earning pUSD rewards instead of DOT rewards.
Okay, cool. And you submit the proposal for pUSD, and do you have some idea about when we can expect pUSD to launch?
It's very hard to say because, as I said, it's not just a copy paste of code. Porting existing code to there is not that hard, but still required a lot of changes. But with integrating as all the features I just described previously, Gavin also gave a lot of new requirements and different mechanisms. For example, he don't trust centralized Oracle for obvious reason. So then for Oracle price, we can read from other power chains, but that is not enough because while it is not a bad source, there's a limit. It's not as secure as some other ways. So he also proposed some new Oracle mechanisms. For example, the creators, they can feature price and issue votes to say the price. And a lot of new ideas from Gavin doing things very differently. And they all very interesting, but also very complicated to implement. So it's very hard to say exactly the launch date for the final version, but at least for the initial version with limited set of features, we are definitely targeting for November for the initial release. Not necessarily release on the mainnet, but at least have something running on within testnet, ready for auditing and ready for tests, and ready, depending on the progress, try to get it on the mainnet as soon as possible.
Okay, cool. Also, although Gavin remarked a pUSD, but you are the proposer and you are the core developer of this protocol. So can I say that Acala is the actual issuer of this stablecoin?
No, we are just the developer, but not really issuer. Issuer is always the issuer of the pUSD is always the DOT holders. But of course, we have some plans to deeply integrate with pUSD protocols, try to ensure taking advantage of its new mechanisms for that liquidity boosting, etc.
Okay, so this protocol belongs to Parity or Acala?
So everything belongs to the fellowship. Yeah, so I'm also a member of fellowship, and then all the work will be governed by the fellowship.